Good afternoon and welcome to the 28th meeting of the Honolulu Liquor Commission. Please silence all of your electronic devices. It interferes with our commission reporter, If you're appearing today, please introduce yourself and your client and spell your names for the commission's reporter. And if you're here to testify, please come forward, be sworn in, introduce yourself and spell your name for the record. Commissioners, I see we have some minutes for approval.
Motion for the approval of the regular and executive session minutes of the 22nd and 23rd meetings and the regular minutes of the 25th meeting as previously circulated. Second.
Been moved in second, all those in favor?
Aye.
I vote aye. The minutes of the previous meeting as stated are approved. Calling agenda item number 1 of the public hearing, application number 19-14719 from Foodland Supermarket.
Hi, Janice Uehara, I'm sorry.
Please come forward.
Sorry. Can I have a seat? Have a seat
right
there.
Yeah, I'm sorry. Yes. So we're coming forward here. Thank you. Okay.
Okay. Janice Uehara, store director for Foodland Kailua.
Very good. Ms. Rai.
Thank you, Mr. Chair and Commissioners. This application has received 0 written protests, 0 letters in support. Applicant has met statutory requirements for the submission of this application.
Thank you. Is there anyone in the audience that would like to testify for or against this application? Seeing none, commissioners?
Motion to approve application number 19-14719.
Second.
Been moved in second, all those in favor?
Aye.
I vote aye. Agenda item number 1, application number 19-14719 is approved. Thank you for coming.
Thank you.
Calling agenda item number 2, application number 19-15208 from Head to Toe Nails and Spa LLC. Mr. Kiyuchi.
Good afternoon, Mr. Chair, members of the Commission. My client isn't here yet, and I'm sure the Commission may have questions on this public hearing, so I would ask that you put that at the
Very
end of the
good.
regular.
Can you let us know when your client
I will. Thank you very
appears?
much.
And that will be for agenda item number 15.
Yes,
Correct.
and
Okay.
you can put me wherever you want on the agenda, because I got all the adjudications.
Money. Let's move on to agenda item number 3, application number 19-15476 from World of Aloha Inc. Mr. Lu.
Good afternoon, Mr. Chairman, members of the Commission. To my right is Linda Wong. She is the president of the Appalachian Corporation. She is president with counsel Wayne Luke. There are no changes to the investigators' report.
Thank you very much. Ms. Harai.
Thank you, Mr. Chair and Commissioners. This application has received 11 written protests, 2 letters in support. Applicant has met statutory requirements for the submission of this application.
Okay, so we do have some people that have signed up to testify. Do we have Mr. Barry Castle?
Yes, sir.
Please come forward.
I'm going to swear you in. I'll run a 3-minute timer.
Thank you.
Do you swear that the testimony you give at today's hearing will be the truth, whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes, I
Thank you.
Barry Castle, B-A-R-R-Y.
Please be seated. Go ahead, give your testimony, please.
I'm a property owner in the area, and I don't understand the full detail of the license number 3 application to become another license number 3 application. So I need clarification to that point, and then to what property does it refer to? Because there are 2 properties there that World of Aloha uses for
So
chapel and parties, and so
okay,
it's really
so
unclear.
let me allow the licensee's representative to explain to you. This is for the chapel
This is
that sits behind
this is-
7-Eleven.
yeah, this is for the whole Kahalu fish line. What we're looking for is, we already have a license that covers the reception facility, and right now it's a beer and wine license. The only thing that would change if we got the classification is everything would be the same. The only thing is we would be able to serve the guests blue Hawaii's, pina coladas, and Mai Tais. Yeah, so, and right now we're able to serve wine, beer, soft drinks. And we're not changing, we're not making a bar or restaurant or late night dancing. Our last reception would be from 5:30 to 7:30 in the evening.
So that our biggest concern in the area is the amplified music and
Yeah, so there's no
entertainment.
there's no amplified music. We have a guitar player and a ukulele player and a hula dancer, and they do I think maybe three or four songs during that 2-hour period, and that's all.
And we're very aware of how we've come to this point. And,
Wait,
we appreciate
have
the.
you had any noise from us?
No, that's not
Yeah,
my
so
intent.
nothing's
That's not my
gonna
intent,
change.
because
Yeah.
I appreciate
Uh-huh.
where we've come
Right.
from the very
Uh-huh.
beginning when there was really loud
Uh-huh.
music and it really turned negative for everyone. So I just wanted the details of what you're looking for and to ensure that which property that you're talking about. Because when you say the whole fish pond,
Yeah.
that's a cultural
No.
area that's very important. And when it
Well,
comes to
The
drinking and
this
now you have another level of drinking, I'll state it that way, in a cultural site that can cause to a small community unrest in the evenings, after hours, drunk driving possibilities, and things of that nature.
Let me explain. For the last 15-20 years, and this will continue, we work with Watabi Wedding, who runs our wedding chapel, and after 3 of the weddings, they're allowed, there's time slots that we allow for a 2-hour reception. Watabi's very strict, okay? Basically, everybody comes by limousine or bus, because these are primarily Japanese wedding couples. Should a person drive a car, and in instances we've had 1 or 2 over the last few years, Watabi will place a red ribbon behind the seat, and for the younger children they'll place a yellow ribbon, meaning that our servers are not supposed to serve any alcohol. And
I understand.
and that's
But if you were to
procedure.
book a private local family to a
well the only time
reception or party, there's
time
nobody that can limit you from doing that.
no wait let me explain. Under our variance we are allowed 2 large weddings on our lawn, and in the past whenever we do rent out the site, we serve no alcohol or food. The client caterer, whoever they hire, is the one that needs to get a temporary liquor license if they're going to serve beer or wine. And in the past, we've never seen hard liquor served. It's more beer and wine. And the amplified music for that event has to end at 9 o'clock sharp under our variance. In the past, we thought maybe large wedding receptions were good, but since I think after the first 2 or 3 years, we decided we'd rather do these small, quiet receptions after the weddings. And I think you might look at the record, but for the last 5 years, we may have done maybe 1 or 2 large functions, and that's it. This year, we only have one booked. And basically we're really, I guess, trying to cater to the small receptions after the wedding, just a 2-hour. And during those 2 hours, there's not much drinking because basically they come in, they take pictures, they have a welcome hula, they have soup, salad, steak and lobster, and a cake cut.
But certainly if the license was given to you, you could sell the property and the license would go along with the property and the new owners wouldn't have to really follow that quarter.
I don't
That's
see
the old,
So
that's
we
the
just
old,
have long-term concerns.
that's the old
That's
days.
why.
You transfer the license, you take the license.
Well, my family's had this.
It's not the same. When you transfer the license.
We've had the property for over 50 years, and when you talk about a cultural site, it is on the state and national register of historic sites. we've used the money to preserve it. And one of our great leaders, Reverend Abraham Akaka, was the one that gave us his blessing. Our chapel is named Aloha Keakua in
This is just for
to reflect what he believed was God is love.
Well, certainly I'm here to educate myself a little bit about the hearing because we just get a letter in the mail and then it's here I am.
We appreciate you coming all the way over on this side of the island. So if you would please summarize. If you would summarize,
So
obviously
in
you're
summarization of my testimony is that just to ensure that the future of the site is used under accordance of the variance, under accordance of that we're only, what I understand is only moving from beer and wine to other alcohols, and that there's no additional allowances for a Bruno Mars concert level of, that's what it sounded like to me, that you could have any concert you wanted down there. It's a place that I want to retire and enjoy peaceful sanctity of my artwork. So thank you for your time.
yeah, well understood.
Thank you for your testimony.
Thank you.
Do we have also a Mr. Lilu Marinette?
Lila.
Oh, I'm sorry.
It's okay.
Please come forward.
I'm
Yeah.
Lila Marantz. I'm
Lila
also a resident in the area of this residential area.
I'm gonna swear you in.
Oh, sure,
Do you swear that the testimony you give in today's hearing will be the truth, whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
I do.
Thank you.
You need me to say my name again?
If you would please.
Lila Marantz, and I live at 47482 Lulani Street, which is the street right behind Kamehameha Highway, in a very residential area. Ms. Wong has been operating amplified music in that area over several years, and it's not just guitar and song. There have frequently Tahitian drums and parties, very much a party atmosphere, which is fine in a nightclub, but this is a Hawaiian fish pond, it's ancient Hawaiian fish pond, and just as Ms. Wong indicated, it is on the National Historic Register. And in order to avoid further desecration of that pond and that Hawaiian artifact, I don't think another liquor license is in order. One of the things that's been said is that there already is a liquor license, but I've lived in the area over 20 years and we never received a notice, as we did this time, that you were applying for a liquor license. Was that an oversight?
No, we've always
Oh, yeah.
been to the neighborhood board.
Point of order.
Yeah.
Just have the testimony.
Yes.
Sorry, excuse me, I was speaking. If we could have the testifier
Yes.
address the commission individually, do not speak to the party, and you can give your testimony to the commission within the time limits. And council, you can have your
I'm fine.
your party address the commission as well, but we will not have this back and forth, okay?
Thank you, Counselor. Ma'am, can you continue, please?
Sure. There are two properties on that site that Aloha owns. One's 47509 and the other one's 47507. And I guess this is an increase to 509 that you're wanting to serve harder liquor to 509. And that I guess is the reception area. The other point is that we recently found this out, that there's a church that's right just north of the property of the fish pond, and they never received a letter. The rest of the neighborhood did.
Are you talking about this?
This time, yeah. So they're right property next across the river, and the pastors told us today that they never got a notification. So they're not here to testify and haven't written anything to you because they didn't get anything.
Thank you.
So I guess I would hope that because of those things, that there be some sort of a delay so this can be further investigated. Because not everybody's had a chance to voice their concerns. But again, my primary concern is that the property is located on the banks of an ancient Hawaiian fish pond. Noise levels at the location would certainly increase with more alcohol. And we're also, I did contact the liquor commission, and the person I spoke to at the liquor commission said that the license can transfer upon sale. It can transfer on sale.
No back and forth, please.
Okay, sorry.
It's time.
I'm sorry. And there are families with children in churches within 400 feet of the property, and this would certainly have an adverse effect on their the surrounding community. It is residential. It's potentially increased DUI drivers in the area, increased noise levels during the evening hours, and increased traffic in an area designated not to accommodate this type of commercial activity. It's a residential area. And there's also, as I said, the fact that it's a fish pond.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Commissioners, do you have any questions for the testifier?
No.
If not, thank you, ma'am, for
Thank
coming.
Thank you for hearing me.
Mr. Luke, you've heard is there anybody else in the audience who would like to, please come forward, sir.
Yes, thank you. My name is George Morantz.
And can I get you?
Oh, I'm
No,
sorry.
that's all right.
I'm sorry.
Do you swear that the testimony you give today, Sharon, will be the truth, whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
I do.
Thank you.
Well, I just walked in and happened to notice that there's a lot going on here. I don't want to see the head shaking. I'm here to make a statement. I would really appreciate not getting a distraction. Thank you very much. My wife Lila just testified, and some of these findings are just in the last 24 hours. I happen to notice that there's two addresses here for World of Aloha. One is 47509, the other is 507. I guess in 2002, a license was issued for beer and wine. I was never aware of it. I never received notice. I talked to several neighbors, and none of them have received anything either. This time, however, there are people quite a long distance away from this site that have gotten notices. So far outside of that 500-foot boundary. I imagine if they would approve, it would be no problem, but if they disapproved, it would be thrown out. One party I spoke with today was Calvary Chapel, Kaneohe, which is the adjoining property, right exactly next door. Who has never heard of World of Aloha, but has heard of Watabe wedding services. They said that they were not aware of who Linda Wong was or World of Aloha's application for this liquor license. And I would think that they should be able to at least weigh in on it since it is the next door neighbor. I spoke with Gail LaGrasse, and she needs to speak with the pastor and review this, and I just spoke to her this afternoon. So I think that an extension would be in everybody's best benefit and put everybody at rest, let them know what they really are getting in the neighborhood. I would appreciate any type of extension you can give to us for that reason. Oh, I'm sorry, I had one question.
Please limit your testimony to the issue, the licensee.
Yes. Is the license for more than one location? In other words, if Joe's Market had several locations that all sold liquor, various locations on the island, don't they need a liquor license for each location, for each property?
Correct.
Okay, that's my question. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you for coming. Excuse me, sir. Commissioner, do you have any questions for the testifier?
No question.
No questions, thank
Thank
you.
you, sir.
Mr. Luke.
Yes. Just to cover one point, 1 year ago, these questions about notices being received or not being received, there was questions. Since the commission in the last year we're now using the certificate of mailing process, which means that every letter that we mail out, that it's listed, it tells who is mailed out to, and that's proof of mailing. And we have to file this this proof of mailing signed by the post office prior to this hearing, according to law. So the people mailed to, and the certificate they were mailed has been available to anybody who wanted to, since probably the first of the January near that time. So the question about not getting notices or not, I think it's no longer a question because it's there on the record who was mailed out. Okay? And as far as 20 years ago, you can't answer that question. Before Linda is going to make a couple more comments, I think the only issue we have here, it's the same license. The only thing we're changing is from, we're going to hard liquor. And the question about whether you can get drunk in beer and wine or hard liquor is not the question. The question is whether the licensee has a staff to be trained to be able, even with hard liquor, to identify people that may enter this so-called, drunk stage or what. And it all goes back to proper training, and the record will show that we have, in the years that we have been in existence, we've had no problems with underage drinking. Linda would like to make a couple more comments.
Okay, I have one question before we go on. Just a clarification. On Exhibit B1 of the investigative report, there's a section that says you're requesting an additional liquor license premise to include, it looks like an expanded area. Is that incorrect?
The area, we started with the chapel.
Yeah,
About 10
was for
years ago.
toasting.
Wait, so
And then,
So my clarification is just that it seems like you're just going for a license
that's all.
change, but your Exhibit B1 shows an extension of premise.
That's
Is that incorrect? What it's shown?
It was extended, yeah.
It was extended before, right? So
Yeah, about
what
10
is
years.
shown is
Yeah.
incorrect, the labeling.
Well, that's the whole license premise right now, from the chapel all the way to the end.
I just want you to.
B1.
We're looking at exhibit B1.
I just want you to see.
Request additional license
Oh
premises.
yeah, excuse me, but I think the investigator used the map from our prior application.
Right. So I mean that seems like that's a point of confusion because I mean it
That
came
would
up
be, yes.
in the testimony.
Yeah.
Right? So
That should have probably been scratched out, but the whole red area, the area that's licensed, that's the area. We're not changing.
Then Mr. Luke, I'm looking at page 3 of the investigative licensing report. The bold section saying entrance, the entrance to the premises is an electronic gate which could violate Commission Rule 3-84-72.2. What is your response to that?
We discussed this many years ago, and Linda
Yeah,
probably answered
that came up before, that we could leave a gate opener with the commission, and there's always a sign with the phone number to call the chapel, and they'll open the gate.
My question is this one. When you're having a function, the gate is completely open during all times that you're having the function?
Sometimes, and sometimes if they're it could be open depending on traffic coming in, but most times it's closed when the limousine
during the period that you're serving alcohol, the gate is closed.
most of the time. Yes.
Most of the time.
But I did want to say something that on January 9th, we did appear at the Honolulu Neighborhood Board meeting. They had put our change of license on the agenda. We got a notice that day if we could come and testify or be there to answer questions. So Danny and I were there on January 9th. We took all the questions from the board members and from the audience at the neighborhood board, and at the end of the questioning, they did make a motion to support our application because of our track record in the community and what has been happening over the last 15 years. I'm not sure if you got a copy of their report, but we were very open, and as far as selling the property, it's been in our family for the last 60 years, and we have no, I mean, things are not gonna change,
Oh, yeah.
right? Yeah.
I do have a copy
Uh-huh.
of the minutes of the Kahalu Neighborhood Board number 29.
We've always tried to be open and involved with the community, and so I don't know what else I can say when they're saying that we tried to hide information or whatever, but we've always been there.
I have a question. Since you're referencing that meeting, there you addressed by forming a settlement agreement with World of Aloha and the community.
Oh, okay.
What does that entail?
That was when we first applied for a variance to use the property for a pavilion and reception facility. We got the variance, and some of the neighbors, and I think the Morances were part of it, were concerned about noise levels and whatever it was. So we went instead of just saying, okay, we'll get the variance, we said we'll go to mediation and try to work something out. So what we've worked out, and it's been going on for the last 10-15 years, is before a large function, we're under the variance, we're allowed 2 large functions every month. So before a large function, a month before, we notify Andy Keith, and unfortunately he's not here today, he's on a trip.
Explain who he is.
Yeah, and Andy is the neighborhood representative who then disseminates the information to the concerned neighbors that World of Aloha is going to have a large function on this date.
And I'm sorry, let me interject real quick. What is considered large?
200 people.
That's the limit.
That's a limit. Yeah, and also we had done noise studies, which the community was afraid of, but we did noise studies, and it showed that it wasn't a whole lot of noise. But under the variance or the settlement, we make sure the speakers are faced towards the ocean, and there's back flaps on the tent. I'd say in the past we did try to, we maybe had 4 or 5 maybe during a year, but I think over the last 3-4 years, I can honestly say we may have had only 1 or 2 functions. And in talking with Andy to make sure the community knew, we felt that, and when they say Tahitian drums and everything, there is a 10-minute time limit on, say, a dragon dance or loud drumming under the settlement agreement that we had, and all sound has to be off by 9 p.m. sharp. So as far as the large functions, and we are not serving any alcohol or food, people will rent the site and then they have to bring in their own tents, tables, chairs, and have a caterer. We have certain contracts where the caterer, if they're going to serve liquor, has to get their own license and provide $1 million worth of insurance. I think basically what we've come to find over the years is that it's probably easier for us just to do the small 2-hour receptions after the wedding. Then we don't have to really worry about noise, coming from a large function, making sure they shut down amplified sound at 9 p.m. But right now, how we've been operating with our small receptions is no amplified music, just a guitar and ukulele and a hula dancer. And as far as trying to preserve, we've just tried to preserve that site. No plans of selling.
And how do you folks conduct, how do you make sure everyone is out of the area? How do you prevent people from, because this is a large area, it's, and I've been there, it's got, vegetation and stuff on the side and everything. How do you ensure that people don't linger and continue drinking on the property?
Well, basically, the 1:30 to 3:30 2-hour reception, the people come by bus. The guests are come by bus or limo, and there's no when the limo and bus are ready to leave, all the guests are ushered out, and then our staff has time to clean up. So nobody is lingering around the area.
Even with the large functions that go until 9 p.m.
Well, the large function, we have security and staff that are on there making sure that all the amplified sound is shut down, and that people are out of the area by 10 o'clock. That it's just the people cleaning up are out by 10. But there's no, we have people around there. The security, there's no drinking, and basically, what I've seen is they've only applied for beer and wine, or even some functions have had no alcohol at all, just soft drinks. I mean, those are the ones that we rent the site out. But the last couple of years, we haven't gone for the two large functions per month.
So for the so for your small functions, you're saying that people don't drive individually.
No, and all the years we've had it, there might have been 2 or 3 instances where you had 1 or 2 people that were local people driving, and they were upset because we told them we couldn't serve them a beer. And that's not coming from us. It's Watabe, who we,
that's not our concern.
Yeah,
so I'm because there's been many concerns brought up about drunk
traffic.
driving.
Oh, yeah.
Drunk driving. I live in Kaneohe as well, and it is a problem. So I'm trying to get a feel for how many people are coming to your property and driving, and then driving home after consuming alcohol. So after these large functions, so the large functions, I'm assuming that people are driving individually because these sound like
sometimes,
local
well,
parties,
a lot of times,
right?
or they're mainland people that have local ties,
And
they'll hire a bus to drive the people from Waikiki.
Okay, but you guys have parking on your property,
But there is
right?
parking,
And there are people that do drive to the functions.
and we have security there.
Okay, because this area, right near this area, there's the very, very busy and popular 7-Eleven, and then very busy and popular Hygienics store, which are both retail establishments for alcohol. So our concern is that, people want to keep the party going.
Well,
and go to one of these other retail places and buy more alcohol after going to one of your functions, and then keep going. So there's the Heia Pier right near there. There's the other little pier as well, and there's lots of problems with people drinking over there, and then driving home and getting into accidents. So, as a public commission, that's our concern. So,
I understand.
Are there any precautions you folks take to prevent things like that from happening?
Well, the people have to be off of our property, right? And we've only had one large function last year. We have one large function this year. That's it.
So far in the last 20 years or so, I'm knock on wood, but we haven't, had any problems with the system that she's been using.
But it's good to hear you do encourage the limo and bus service.
This
for,
is not a
for
case
guests.
what will happen in the future, but we have about 20 years of experience in this matter.
We're concerned too because we do have a liquor license and we got to make sure that there's no liability, right? And that's where our concern
Well, but
is.
that's why I'm voicing this concern on the record, because if they begin the party at your place and then leave your premises and go buy more alcohol because they want to keep going, it's no longer your liability, but you're kind of
right. I understand.
culpable.
I understand.
Okay, so that's why we're going through these discussions.
Any further questions, Commissioner?
I guess, these large events that you're having, or you've had 1 or 2 in the past 3 to 4 years, or what have you. The fact is that you're expanding it. We're looking at 1.5 acres now, right?
No, we're not expanding.
No, it's already there.
It's not licensed right now, right?
Everything is licensed.
It's all licensed?
Yes,
But you're
everything is
asking
licensed.
for the pavilion to be
No,
licensed.
it's just a change of
They never changed.
change of category.
Upgrade in classification.
Okay. So given that you do these large functions there, it's hard for me to believe that there's not a lot of hustle and bustle and confusion happening there, because it doesn't have the infrastructure to do these events. So I'm assuming you're bringing in tables, chairs, tents, right?
Well, we have it's up to the customer, right? But the bottom line is most of these have been doctors, friends of ours, doctors and their children who have asked us to, you know, use the place for a wedding. And so they're all I
Well,
guess
the
their
thing
families.
about, I guess
yeah.
what I'm trying to say is that we can't restrict you from putting it out there to a different demographic crowd is what I'm saying. Because that may be your standard procedures and your standard
Sure.
now.
Mm.
However, once a license is granted, we can't restrict who
Yeah.
patrons your property, yeah, or who you can rent to, or who your customers are. Potentially, people are looking for venue spots all the time, beautiful venue spots. And along with that comes with a lot of marketing, it comes with a lot of business that comes with it. You know, and I think that's part of the concern as well. You know, you got vendors coming in and out, you're driving all around, whatever may be, poles, tents, whatever going around over there. It eventually will expand to a larger demographic, so to speak, you know?
No.
I
What-
mean, you know, and your variance, and there's a couple of things that is not mentioned in here, which is, you know, I would like to see that settlement agreement, only because I would like to know what you guys have compromised with the public or the community, and that it's readily available and that the community agreed to those terms.
I have a copy here.
Okay, perfect. So you can hold that and we'll go ahead and get that circulated.
Yeah.
You know, I know that you have a variance that is not set in this license that restricts or it allows you only 2 large wedding events. So there's nothing, or large events, there's nothing that restricts you from doing that by having a license either.
No, the variance for that we applied and that we got from the city.
Yeah, we don't have that, right? Oh, we have it?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, all the you know, that variance has already, you know,
So in the- yeah.
been discussed. And then-
So if
and
the
what-
variance is in there, I'm not too concerned about that, but what I, like I said, what I would like to see, which will be distributed, is the settlement agreement. And when you say settlement agreement, I'm assuming you're having majority agree to this, or did you have someone,
Yeah, it was
It
a
was
representative of the neighborhood.
Andy Keith, or who was?
No, it was Richard Ship, but he passed away and Andy Keith took over.
Has this settlement ever been revisited as far as the terms
No.
or anything,
No.
or presented? This was presented back when you went to this neighborhood board meeting. Was it represented that this is the original settlement agreement we had?
Yes. Yeah, there's only been
Yeah,
that
they-
settlement.
There's only been one
It's only
agreement.
been one.
It's never been
No,
revised.
it's never, yeah.
The only thing is, the way the premise is we've been operating under the same property for about like 6 years now.
10, 15 years.
No, the
It was a
extension,
district
the extension.
Okay.
We have been operating under the extension.
Any further questions or type of action?
Motion to convene into executive session.
Second.
Then moved in second, all those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. I vote aye, we're now in executive session.
The investigator will-
Yeah, I know. I got something here.
Keep those.
Okay, we are now back on the official record. Commissioners, do you have any further questions or type of action?
Yes, Chair. Motion to approve application number 19-15476.
Second. Then moved in second, all those in favor?
Aye.
Those opposed?
I vote no.
I vote aye. License is approved. Moving on, Mr. Kyuchi, are you ready?
Yes.
Let's go back to agenda item number 2. Thank you folks for coming on the Kolau Poco. Thank you. Calling agenda item number 2, application number 19-15208 from Head to Toe Nails and Spa LLC.
Good afternoon, Mr. Chair, members of the Commission, Keith Kiuchi on behalf of the applicant. To my right is Lillian Mori, M-O-R-I. She's the sole member and manager of the applicant.
Thank you very much. Ms. Arai,
Thank you, Mr. Chair and Commissioners. This application has 0 written protests, 0 letters in support. Applicant has met statutory requirements for the submission of this application.
thank you. Is there anyone in the audience that would like to testify for or against this application? Thank you. Seeing none, Commissioners?
Motion to approve application number 19-15208.
Second.
Moved in second. All those in favor?
Aye.
I vote aye. Agenda item number 2, application number 19-15208 is approved. Let's take agenda item number 15 out of order, please.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Again, Keith Kiuchi representing the applicant. To my right is Lillian Mori. I think I've sent a letter, you need a diagram, and let me kind of explain what her services are. At the present time, she doesn't have a full-time masseuse. She wants me to submit this anyway because if at some point she gets a full-time masseuse, the commission has at least waived the rule. What our intent is for the customer to change their clothes in the bathroom, put a towel around, go into the massage room and get the massage. The number of massages that she has done over the years have been very limited, but nevertheless, if you look at the rule does require her not to do it or requires a waiver. So regardless of the number, that's why we've asked for this. Most of what she does in that facial massage room are facial massage or waxes. But again, we are not going to serve alcohol in that portion. She's agreed to do that. And that would be the restriction we would abide by.
Very good. Commissioners, have any questions of the applicant?
Motion to convene into executive session.
Second.
Moved in second, all those in favor?
Aye.
I vote aye. We are now in executive. Okay, we are now back on the official record. Commissioners?
Yes, Chair. Motion to deny request number 19-16007.
Second.
Moved in second, all those in favor?
Aye.
I vote aye. Agenda item number 15, request number 19-15207 is denied.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, let's see if we can move along. Huh?
Yeah. Back to 4.
Number 4, this is a special license application. Application number 19-15912 from Bamboo Catering Inc.
Still there.
Yes, good afternoon, Commissioners. David Webb, authorized agent, Bamboo Catering.
Thank you very much. Commissioners, do you have any questions for the applicant?
Yes, I have one question.
Vice Chair Gannabon.
Thank you. Mr. Webb, I caught my eye, Exhibit C. Type of serving container, you listed beer bottles?
Pour them into plastic cups, though.
Okay.
Yeah.
I wanted you to clarify that for the record. We're not
Yeah.
gonna have Heineken bottles or
No.
glasses out in fighting
No, that would
mixed
be
martial art
like
event. Okay, thank you for clarifying for the record. Thank you. Great.
Is that a part of the mixed martial arts equipment?
No,
Oh, thank
that,
you.
we wanna keep it that way.
Yeah.
Oh, very good. Thank you.
Alright, good. Okay, motion to approve application number 19-15912.
Second.
It's been moved in second. All those in favor?
Aye.
I vote aye. Agenda item number 4, application number 19-15912 is approved.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Let's have agenda item number 5, application number 19-15889 from Free Spirits LLC. Mr. Goda.
Good afternoon, members of the Commission. Neil Gota, appearing on behalf of Free Spirits LLC. If the Commission will allow, we'd like a 1-week continuance on this matter. The event organizers just revised the map, so we'd like the time to submit that to you folks with a revised security plan.
Thank you
So
very much.
continue 1 week.
1 week.
Motion to continue application number 19-15889 for 1 week.
Second.
Moved in second, all those in favor?
Aye.
I vote aye. Agenda item number 5, application number 19-15889 is continued for 1 week.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Gota.
Moving into agenda item number 6, transfer application number 19-15643 from LG Corporation.
To my right is Leroy Koo, GUO. He's the president. He is president of Council Wayne Luke. We have no changes to investigators report. He has been operating under temporary license, no problems.
Thank you very much. Commissioner?
Motion to approve transfer application number 19-15643.
Second.
Then moved in second, all those in favor?
Aye.
I vote aye. Agenda item number 6, transfer application number 19-15643 is approved.
Okay, thank you.
Calling agenda item number 7, application number 19-14717 from Super S Market LLC. Mr. Luke.
Yes. To the right is a member Tim He. He is president with Council Wayne Luke. There is one change to the investigators report. We have an extension of the temporary license to April 7th, 2019. That's the in the report it said that it already expired. Yeah. May the record reflect Wayne Luke's counsel.
Thank you very much. Commissioner?
Yeah.
Motion to approve application number 19-14717.
Second.
Moved in second, all those in favor?
Aye.
I vote aye. Agenda item number 7, application number 19-14717 is approved.
Thank
Calling
you.
agenda item number 8, application number 19-14870 from Loco Moco Burger LLC.
Good afternoon, Mr. Chair.
Mr. Nicole.
Members of the Commission. Devin Nicoba representing Locomoco Burger LLC. To my right is Mr. Jesse Aguinaldo, Aguinaldo. He is the owner of Locomoco Burger and Mahalo Burger. We have no changes to the license.
Thank you very much. Commissioner?
Question. I was looking at the floor map and it's covering the entire food court.
Yes.
So the food court is a really large area. And looking at your staffing ratio, well, we just received the standard operating procedures today as we came in, and it elaborated a little bit more of what I was gonna question. I know the only concern that I had is upon you have a sign here about no alcohol beyond this point. Will in your points where you have no alcohol, which is the restrooms that are unlicensed as well as leaving the premise, will you have staff there to monitor that?
Yes, we have security and we have always a manager on duty. They'll be out there
So
constantly, frequently, yeah.
they'll be at
In
the
the dining room.
bathrooms.
Dining room, bathroom too, we'll be looking through that, but we can identify a lot of the customers that will be drink consuming because we would have wristbands on them, so we'll be watching that very closely. And
Okay, so if I'm going to the restroom and I ordered my food or whatever the situation, sitting at a table, I decide to go to a restroom. What am I doing with what I'm holding beer or whatever in my hand? What
Well,
happens?
the rule is you're not supposed to bring the beer into the restroom, so normally we're gonna let them know when they approach and buy the beer. We're gonna let them know that the cashier's gonna review with them that liquor cannot go into the restroom or the patio and whatnot. And they're gonna have to read that cue card that we'll have the cashier as well. And we're gonna have a lot of signages on the plasma screens as well as the areas where they enter. So we're gonna have a lot of information out there for the customers. And I don't see it to where our customers are like a one-time deal. It's not a bar. They're just an amenity to their food, pretty much.
So do I discard it? Is there a rubbish can? I gotta dump it before I go to the restroom? You're staffing there, what happens?
They normally would leave it at the table, but we can have trash cans there as well. I think there is a trash can there, I'm not sure.
So a good point you bring up.
Yeah.
I leave it at the table,
Okay.
right? The table is unattended.
Okay.
I'm assuming it's a normal food court where you have bussers that go around, clean the tables, what have you, right?
Right.
What is the communication with the bussers or the utility staff as far as dumping that or having it out
Well,
like unsupervised kind of thing?
yeah, well, the procedure will be, we'll inform the cleanup crew that anything that's left unattended must be disposed immediately.
I mean, it's a pretty busy food court, right? So because I mean, like I know when to get a table, you're basically waiting for someone else to leave. So I can potentially see someone who leaves and leaves an open container there and doesn't clean up or nothing, doesn't just leave it there and walk away. So that is what my concern is basically it's a large area as well as this is a public area with a lot of tourists, children, language barriers, big communication hurdle.
There may be something we can put onto the signage that it explains to them that if you leave your drink unattended, we will be clearing it. So that they know that you can, if you want to try and leave it behind, you can leave it behind, but someone's gonna clear it and take it.
A lot of the times they don't leave anything behind because there's like birds that come around and eat their food or whatnot. So anything they're just afraid they don't leave anything at the table. And normally that's our process of that. I don't see anyone leave food carriers. There is a high chance that people can take their food and birds come around and eat their food. So it'll be along with their tray. So normally when we service the beer, it'll be when their food comes out as well. We're not going to pre-give them their, unless, sometimes we have foreign people, they want to maybe have a beer before they eat, but that's probably not the case. Most of the time is we'll service the beer when they receive their food. So.
And the security that you're quoting in here is your own security or is it the mall security?
It's the mall security. They constantly roam the food court because they know that's a heavily traffic area. So they're always there monitoring the food court, and they ensure that a lot of the homeless is not coming into the properties as well. So, and we'll have like a manager always on duty that'll go to and from the dining room to the restaurant as well to ensure that we ensure that there's no illegal drinking or whatnot out there.
I share the same concerns as Vice Chair Ganaban. There's a lot of blind spots. So how much security is usually there?
They always have a security there manning the place because they have about 7 securities.
Yeah, but you got lots of points of entry and exit. You cannot see basically this entire area from your restaurant establishment. So if you have a manager in here, he cannot see over here.
Well, he'll be out there as well when we get to that point. But there's only 2 major exits in that area.
Mm-hmm.
The other 2 that you see over there would be the restroom and the patio, which is not going to be allowed for drinking.
It's pretty easy to get that. That's a very close to the escalator entrance,
Right.
and this is open right here. There isn't a barrier here. This is pretty. Sometimes there's like rope, but it's basically open. So this area right here is a concern for me that you guys are serving from here and expecting one security officer to make sure people are not going in this blind spot and taking drinks down this escalator.
Okay.
So how are you folks gonna address that?
Well, as I said, the manager will always be on duty, roaming the place, and identify people that are drinking. We'll try to. What we could probably do is always let them know to stay nearby. Keep your drink, consume your beer nearby. But there's times where we don't have tables in there, and I guess I just don't foresee too much drinking there. It's just an amenity. So we'll be controlling all that with the managers always in the dining room.
And are your cups going to have your logo on them? Are your beverage containers gonna have your logo so that if an investigator should come by, they can know where that drink came from?
That we don't have any. We have logos for our cups right now with stickers, but we can do that if we need to do that. We'll put the logos on there. We have like shake and our smoothie disposable cups that we put stickers on, so we can do that as well with the beer.
And she brought up another good point about this, there being a lot of tourists from foreign countries. They're gonna be using passports for their identification.
Right.
And how is your staff going to be trained to ensure that only persons 21 and over are gonna be drinking? Because a lot of other countries, the drinking age is much lower.
Right.
So when they come on vacation, they may not know, and then your staff may not know how to read their identification.
Well, in operating procedures, I put down some of the utilizing ID scanning machines that we're going to try to put in place, and we're going to have the training as far as ensuring. I understand that other countries that they don't have the same rules we have in the States, so we just strictly enforce have to be 21 years and older to consume the drink. So that'll be all in the training, to where we have identify all the passports and whatnot, the IDs that they would have. Definitely.
Do you know what your seating capacity is in a food court?
I think they said the capacity is about. I know the square footage, but they come and go. I don't know if the chairs are. What's in there? Oh, that's a good plan right here. The very last page. Does it say anything right here?
No.
The way I'm looking at, yeah, it's probably about 300, 350 chairs approximately.
And in your objective, you know, the average age bracket is the 24 to 45 year olds, right?
Yes, definitely.
And you know, you quoted the foot traffic that you guys got weekly from visitors to everything like that. At what point do you know to bring on more staffing? I mean, what in your procedures or what after you serve how many beers or you realize the food court is packed and you serve 20 beers? What is a good ratio for you in your training?
Well, we've been there. I've been there at the food court for probably 10 years now, and we always beef up staff during the busy times. But there'll always be a manager there on duty. We're looking at adding on another staff, so our manager will be there always on duty. We used to just have them come in and out and you know, cross-train in Ala Moana, but now we're having a manager that has to be there on duty while we open. So we've already staffed up for the amount of business. We have the amount of staff for that, so we understand based on the traffic flow, we accommodate the customers. If it's something that's more, then we'll eventually add more staff. I think adding more staff is not a problem with me. I think it's a good problem to have. If there's a lot of business there, so we continue to do that. And I think the mall was pretty clear on that. That if they see any potentials to where it's a little out of control, that I would have to increase my staff. And the mall knows that as well. I think they support that this could be an issue. I think that was the thing that was first time when it brought up was how we're going to man that place, and we got biggest support from the securities. So they're going to help out along with my staff.
Yeah, one of my concerns is that because you don't have, they're not on your payroll. They're actually part of the center, so you really don't have any control of them. If they decided to walk off, they could walk off. And if you don't have enough employees, then what do you do?
Well, one of the understandings with the general manager and the director of security, because I have a really good relationship with them, is if this is gonna happen, you know, we'd have to man that, because they used to have bars there before. It was the Five Bar, the Paradise Bar, and it was unsuccessful. I don't know what they did back there, but I think our setup is a little bit different. You know, it's not a bar setup. It's just an amenity to the meal.
Right.
And it's to me a one or two times, and that's it. They're done.
Right, I think that the biggest concern is of course leaving
Right.
the premise, right, with beverage. So if that security guard that's not your employee is not there and decides to go on bathroom break and somebody walks off, then it's ultimately your responsibility. So
And
you
that
may
was
want to
the,
think about.
What clearly states that as what Commissioner Lee has pointed out is that in your lease it says that you shall be responsible. It says tenant
Right.
shall be responsible to monitor liquor license area. So in the event that the security is attending to another issue on the property, it's still your responsibility.
yes,
So
absolutely.
that's what I wanna know is your contingent plan is you don't know, I'm assuming you know when your busy times are, which is lunch, evenings, or what have you.
Right.
You can't just get on the phone and call and say, I need 4 more people to come in. I mean, that's not an option, right? Okay, I live at Mo'iliili, whatever it may be. I mean, this is a large area, and here's the thing, food courts are family people there with strollers. I mean, I've dined at this food court many times, and it's hard to get a table. I mean, you're literally waiting for the people to get up to get a table. So I have several issues and concerns with this because this trend with allowing a food court as large as this is, I think that we're gonna, you know, if you don't have, you know, a plan, I'm a little concerned about that. That's 300 people and more. This is just seating capacity we're talking about. Now I'm that person waiting for the table to come available, and I'm trying to get the other table over there so we can join it together so my family can eat together. So it's, you know, I just thank you for your additional standard operating procedures, but I'll review it and see from there.
And we'll definitely take your suggestions and advise and work them into another plan for security. And make it more detailed, beef it up a little bit more so that we can address some of the concerns that you brought up.
Condition the license to identify their cups. The condition. Well, let's go into executive session.
Okay. Motion to convene into executive session.
Second.
Move the second, all those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
I vote aye. We are now in executive. Okay, we are now back on the official record. Commissioners, do you have any further questions or a type of action for the
Yes.
agenda item?
Motion to approve the application number 19-14870.
Second.
Been moved in second, all those in favor?
Aye.
I vote aye. Agenda item number 8, application number 14870 is approved. Mr. Nakober,
Yes, Mr.
the
Chair.
commission has some serious concerns with your business plan and the security. So
We will address them and we'll come back to
You
you
sh-
with more information.
please
Yes.
address those concerns,
Yes, thank you, Chair.
otherwise you're wasting our time and we'll be wasting your time.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Appreciate it.
Thank you, understood. Let's go to agenda item number 9. Application number 19-15914 from Uber Easy LLC. Finally, I'm sorry.
No worries. Sorry.
I like mine hard. Get some hard.
Nick Novendan, Lobendan.
And Jennifer Lobindan.
Thank you very much. Commissioners?
Motion to approve application number 19-15914.
Second.
Been moved in second, all those in favor?
Aye.
I vote aye. Agenda item number 9, application number 19-15914 from Over Easy LLC is approved.
Thanks guys.
Thank you for coming.
11.
Let's move into the temporary license applications. Agenda item number 10.
Take 11 out of order for them.
Oh, I'm sorry. Thank you, Vice Chair. Calling agenda item number 11 out of order. Application number 19-15913 from Over Easy LLC. Please introduce yourselves again for the record.
I am Nick Lobendan, LOB, ENDAHN.
And I'm Jennifer Lopindan.
Thank you. Commissioners?
Motion to approve temp application number 19-15913.
Second.
Moved in second. All those in favor?
Aye.
I vote aye. Agenda item number 11. Application number 19-15913 is approved.
Thank you
Thanks,
guys.
good luck.
Thank you.
Let's turn the clock back and go to agenda item number 10. Application number 19-15897 from Sunshine Market. Good afternoon, ladies.
Good afternoon. I'm Mary Ferrera and I'm here with Sun Byung Ri from Sunshine Market and we have no changes to the investigative report.
Thank you. Commissioners?
Motion to approve temporary application number 19-15897.
Second.
Been moved in second. All those in favor?
Aye.
I vote aye. Agenda item number 10. Application number 19-15897 is approved.
Thank you.
Let's move on to agenda item number 12. Application number 19-15956 from Sodexo America LLC.
Thank you, Commission. Patrick Baugh, General Manager, BAUGH.
Thank you very much. Commissioners?
Motion to approve application number 19-15956.
Second.
Moved in second. All those in favor?
Aye.
I vote aye. Agenda item number 12. Application number 19-15956 is approved.
Thank you.
Let's go to agenda item number 13, request. Request number 19-14794 from Sushi Shu USA.
Mr. Chair, please.
Yeah, that was
Mr. Chair and Commissioner, the requester actually was had to leave, so ask that this matter be rescheduled to next week, please.
Point of order, can we handle this in absence of the application?
You could.
This is a request to delete a member? Okay, I'm sorry. No, we will,
And transfer of the members.
I thought it was
Yeah,
deleting.
continue.
No, I thought we were deleting space. I'm sorry, my bad.
Continue.
Okay, so can I have a motion, Commissioners, for agenda item number 13?
Motion to continue agenda item number 13 for till next week.
Second.
Moved in second, all those in favor?
Aye.
I vote aye. Agenda item number 13 is continued till next week. Agenda item number 14, request number 19-15803 from Garrison Jerks LLC.
May the record reflect Wayne Luke as authorized agent and attorney for the requester. There are no changes to the investigator's report.
Thank you, Mr. Luke. Commissioner,
Good. Motion to approve request number 19-15803.
Second.
been moved in second, all those in favor?
Aye.
I vote aye. Agenda item number 14, request number 19-15803 is approved.
Chair, motion for the adoption of finding of fact and decision in order for agenda items 16 through 23 inclusive.
Second.
Moved in second, all those in favor?
Aye.
I vote aye. Agenda adoption of findings of fact, decision and order. Agenda items number 16 through 23 inclusive are approved. Moving into the adjudications. Good afternoon, ma'am.
Good evening, Chair, members of the Commission, Deputy Corporation Counsel Pedro Baca.
Thank you. Calling agenda item number 24, Artistry Event Center and Lounge.
Good afternoon again, Mr. Chair, members of the Commission, Keith Kiuchi for the licensee. To my right is Bert Kawasaki. He's the manager of the licensee. We waive reading of the charge, enter a plea of no contest to charges 1 and 2.
Motion to accept the no contest pleas for charges 1 and 2.
Second.
Moved in second, all those in favor?
Aye.
I vote aye. Agenda item number 24, the no contest pleas are accepted for charge number 1 and charge number 2.
Ms. Ogata, what are your recommendations?
For charge number 1, it's a first offense. Recommendation is a $500 fine. For charge number 2, also a first offense. Recommendation is a $250 fine. Grand total of $750.
So my client didn't realize that beer pong was required commission approval because he saw competitors such as Rock Bottom advertise it. Now he knows it isn't, and I told him he should have called me first because
But I apologize. It was actually our first thing. We said, sure, I guess we'll try it. And they came and said, we can. No problem at all. I understand.
So on the time card, he now has a stamp that has
the year. It didn't have
That
the
was the issue.
year added on.
Okay.
And just for the record, anytime we've held private functions requesting casino, games, we've always submitted requests for casino entertainment. So I apologize about the beer pong.
Thank you. Motion to approve the recommended fines of $500 and $250 respectively for a total of $750.
Second.
Moved in second, all those in favor?
Aye.
I vote aye. Agenda item number 24, charge number 1, the recommended fine of $500 is approved. For charge number 2, the recommended fine of $250 is approved for a grand total of $750.
Mr. Chair, can you call 26 because I've got the rest of the adjudications and that's the only one my client's here. I want to reward them for waiting.
So let's we will honor that request.
Thank you very
Mr. Kiyuchi. Calling agenda item number 26, Club Little Saigon.
Again, good afternoon, Mr. Chair, members of the Commission, Keith Kiyuchi for the licensee. To my right is Huong Tan Nguyen, Phung, THANNGUYEN. She is the officer and director of the licensee. We waive reading of the charge, enter a plea of no contest to both charges.
Motion to accept the no contest pleas for charges 1 and 2.
Second.
Moved in second, all those in favor?
Aye.
I vote aye. Agenda item number 26. Charge number 1, the no contest plea is accepted, and charge number 2, the no contest plea is accepted.
Ms. Ogata.
For charge number 1, it is a first offense. Recommended fine is $500. For charge number 2, it is also a first offense. Recommendation is a $500 fine.
Mr.
$1,000 total.
Ms. Nguyen was actually the one that consumed the liquor. She apologizes to the commission. She was picking up a customer's drink and she must have inadvertently drank, but she will tell the commission this won't happen again. On the second one, it seems unusual. I got actually a photo, and that's the license was there, and it's like pictured in there, and I gave that to Ms. Ogata. The mistake they made is they didn't point out where the license was, and the employee was so nervous they took out the old license but didn't show where this license was. It may have not been absolutely conspicuous, but it wasn't hidden. So.
Okay, well where is it now? Because it seems like it's not very
It's
conspicuous.
going to be more prominent.
This
It's a more
picture.
prominent place now.
Okay,
Yeah.
great.
So, Mr. Kiyuchi, you see the notice on the wall over there?
Yes.
Next to the TV?
Yeah.
That's where we would like to see things.
You know,
our enforcement division is not supposed to go out looking.
I agree, and that's
Clearly posted.
and that's why we're pleading no contest, because I think the investigators, I think that's fair. The investigators shouldn't have to hunt for it. You know, if you ask the employee should know where it is.
Yes.
But the problem is, if you gotta ask the employee, then it's not conspicuous, right? So
Okay, so we're all on the same page.
We're all on the same page because it has nothing to do with our investigators. It has to do with the rules and the statutes, Mr. Kiyuchi. So that's what happened
Alright,
here.
alright.
It's a relative.
Okay.
Thank you.
My motion is to approve the recommended fines of $500 for charge 1 and $500 for charge 2 for a total of $1,000.
Second.
Moved in second, all those in favor?
Aye.
I vote aye. Agenda item number 26, charge number 1, the recommended fine of $500 is approved. And agenda item number 26, charge number 2, the recommended fine of $500 is approved for a grand total of $1,000. Thank you, Mr. Kiuchi.
Thank you.
Calling agenda Calling agenda item number 27. Oh no,
25.
25. Thank you so much. Agenda item number 25, Club Fleming U.
Again, Keith Kiuchi on behalf of the licensee Club Fem New. We waive reading of all 3 charges, enter a plea of no contest in all 3 charges.
Motion to accept the no contest pleas for charges 1, 2, and 3.
Second.
Moved in second, all those in favor?
Aye.
Agenda item number 25, agenda item numbers 1, 2, and 3, the no contest pleas are accepted.
Ms. Ogata.
For charge number 1, it is the first offense. Recommended fine is $1,000. For charge number 2, it is also a first offense. Recommended fine is $350. And for charge number 3, it's a first offense. Recommendation is $1,000. Grand total of $2,350.
So I didn't have Ms. M here because I'm very familiar with this dancer, and I'm familiar with the facts. This is not the kind of conduct that Ms. M allows. In fact, on the first charge, when the dancer touched herself, the bouncer went up to her and says, "You can't do that." She did it anyway. So that's not the kind of conduct that she allows. And then the dancer went beyond that and had a female lick her breast. So even after being warned, so Ms. M fired the dancer, and I subsequently had contact with the dancer because I had a landlord that hired me to evict this woman in November of last year because she couldn't pay the rent because she was fired from FEMU. And to show what lack of character this person was, the place was a mess. So I told Ms. M, I'm very familiar with what happened with the dancer, and familiar with the lady's lack of conduct. You know, Ms. M takes it real seriously, and you know, and you look at the investigative report, the bouncer actually told her, "Don't do that," but she did it anyway. So. And the registration was that dancer that didn't have the registration.
Well, I appreciate that representation, Mr. Kiuchi. However, the licensee is strictly responsible for their employees' conduct. So that being said, my motion is to approve the recommended fines for charge 1 of $1,000, charge 2 of $350, and charge 3 of $1,000 for a total of $2,350.
Second.
Moved in second, all those in favor?
Aye.
I vote aye. Agenda item number 1, agenda item number 25, charge number 1, the no contest, the recommended fine of $1,000 is approved. Charge number 2, the recommended fine of $350 is approved. And charge number 3, the recommended fine of $1,000 is approved for a grand total of $2,350. Thank you, Mr. Kiuchi. Let's move on to agenda item number 27. The Chill Sports Bar and Grill.
Again, good afternoon, Mr. Chair, members of the Commission, Keith Kiuchi for the licensee. So all 4 charges, we waive reading of the charge and a plea of no contest.
Motion to accept the no contest pleas for charges 1, 2, 3, and 4.
Second.
And moved in second, all those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
I vote aye. Agenda item number 27, charges 1, 2, 3, and 4. The no contest pleas are accepted.
Ms. Ogata.
For charge number 1, it is a first offense. Recommended fine is $350. For charge number 2, it is also a first offense. Recommended fine is $250. For charge 3, it is a first offense. Recommended fine is $1,000. Charge 4 is a first offense. Recommended fine is $350 for a grand total of $1,950.
My client who lost her lease, she was evicted on Tuesday. One of the reasons she's not here is she's extremely tired. She spent all night Sunday, all day Monday removing the equipment.
Bless you.
But as to this specific incident, the woman that was involved, she asserts that she wasn't an employee, she had left. I looked at the time cards. For some strange reason, she was clocked in, but there's a clock out on an odd stray date that was 4 days later. So the circumstances are kind of odd, but I need to explain to the commission what my client believed. She would have contested it if not for the fact that she was evicted. But after she was evicted, she didn't see a reason to pay me to contest it, and that kind of makes sense because she's got other issues.
Motion to approve the recommended fines of $350 for charge 1, $250 for charge 2, $1,000 for charge 3, and $350 for charge 4, for a total of $1,950.
Second.
Been moved in second, all those in favor?
Aye.
I vote aye. Agenda item number 27, the recommended fine of $350 for charge number 1 is approved. The recommended fine, charge number 2, the recommended fine of $250 is approved. Charge number 3, the recommended fine of $1,000 is approved. And charge number 4, the recommended fine of $350 is approved, for a grand total of $1,950.
Thank you, Mr.
Okay,
Kyuchi.
thank you.
Thank you very much. Calling agenda item number 28, do we have any legislative updates?
No.
Thank you so much. Thank you. Oh,
I read the wonderful testimony.
yes, okay, and agenda item number 29, do we have any
No.
administrative
No.
matters?